So, hello, my name is Grace Carter, and I will be presenting on behalf of the Dry Run Senior Capstone team. The other members of my team are Beverly, Chris, and Ryan. Our advisor is Dr. Strebig. We are sponsored by the Massanutten chapter of Trout Unlimited, and we are being supported by the city of Harrisonburg. So to get started, I want to take a short trip and bring you all on it. So we're going to go to Riven Rock Park, which is where our capstone is based. It's about 12 miles from the center of Harrisonburg, and if we were going to be starting at the engineering building, it'd be about 15 miles. This is what it looks like as you come up on the road. It comes up kind of fast, so you have to slow down as you get to the entrance. Once you get to the park, you'll see the main shelter right in front of you. And the main attraction, I would say, of Riven Rock Park is the dry river located just behind the tree line. This water is really important for two main reasons. The first reason is that it has the highest population of wild brook trout south of Vermont. This is really incredible because brook trout are indicators of really good water quality, and this water is also owned by the city of Harrisonburg, not a state or a national park. So that's really interesting. And the second reason is it is the location of this intake dam that brings Harrisonburg about half of its water supply. So if you've ever been to Harrisonburg and you've drinking any water from the tap, there's about a 50% chance that you're drinking water from the dry river. So that's pretty cool. So we are, over the past 2 years, our team has created an educational platform for Riven Rock Park to help incite appreciation of the amazing resources and create a space for learning to encourage sensitivity to the natural resources for years to come. So a little bit more information about Riven Rock Park. People come here for hiking, biking, picnicking, and in the summer of 2018, it was counted that over 7,000 vehicles visited the park. Local schools also use it for educational field trips, and you can see a map of it here. There's 4 main shelters shown in the picture below and plenty of room for parking. So what is the need for our project? Within the information that we shared, we wanted to educate unknowing visitors about the space. We wanted to support the field trips that go there. We wanted to provide a space for learning for the students that go in case they wanted to share with their families, and we wanted to cultivate a sense of pride and informed appreciation about the park and the resources for future generations. So to start our process, we did a lot of benchmarking. We talked to the teachers that led the field trips, and we also did some of our own resource kind of cultivation. We took pictures of different panels in our cities or places that we traveled just to see how they showed information to the users. And we also noticed that many of the panels that we saw only had the information shown in one language. And so we wanted to try to at least show a second language, and we chose Spanish because that is the second most spoken language in Harrisonburg, accounting for about 20% of the population, according to Data USA. So the next part is talking about the prototyping stage. So we gathered a bunch of information and we kind of categorized everything into 5 main groups. So the history of Riven Rock Park, the natural ecosystem, the water supplies to the city of Harrisonburg, the natural brook trout or the native brook trout population, and then environmental valuation, which is the concept of understanding that the free services that nature provides can actually be counted and allocated with value. And then you can see pictures of us working on those and pictures of our very early prototypes. We also talked to a ton of stakeholders. We got feedback from students, the parents that were chaperoning at the field trips, from the teachers themselves, from Trout Unlimited. We got feedback from Science USA, who will be implementing the panels or fabricating the panels, and then also our city liaison, Rebecca. So the impact. So we hope to create a learning environment for all visitors at the park. We hope to display the importance of the Dry River watershed and the services it provides. And then from that, we want to promote environmental literacy and a growing awareness for the environment. In this picture, you'll see us placing our panel in one of its future locations at the park. So our final concept. So you won't be able to see our final projects, our final concepts before we actually put them in the park. So we just wanted to show them to you here. You'll see 2 different types. So first we have the trailhead kiosk that has general information about the park, and then something on the back, and then our educational panel. So Here's our trailhead. It has general information about the park, a map, and safety information. Here we have the back of that same panel, which talks about the Dry River watershed, why it's important, and then the importance of the project. Here we have our first educational panel, which we call Station. So this is the history of the natural resources, of the water resources and how it's changed over time. We have the native brook trout talking about how it's a good indicator for water quality. We have life cycles and biodiversity. This is actually one of the subjects taught in third grade science classes and part of the SOLs talked about on the field trips. And we got a friend of mine, Crystal, or commissioned a friend of mine, Crystal, to do the artwork, and Dr. Strebig actually took all these pictures. And then the water quality, the table at the bottom is actually the one used at the students' field trip. So we hope to see this design put in at some point in 2020. We'll see when that is. But if you're ever looking for a cool place to go, some mountain air to go see, some extra learning to get Ribbon Rock Park place view in months or years. Translators or artists are